Hi everybody, I'm Matchett, one of the learning support teachers here at Marryong South. I'm going to be talking about how you can help your child at home with their reading comprehension. There are two main components of reading, decoding and comprehension. Decoding is where we work out what the words say through our knowledge of phonics, and comprehension is where we work out what those words mean. Students need to go beyond decoding to derive meaning from a text. To comprehend is to go beyond the word level to get the big picture. There are lots of ways students can show what they understand from a text. Recall information, give a response, answer questions, interpret pictures, and making connections. Research has found that students who are struggling to read focus more on word accuracy than on comprehension. Students are explicitly taught comprehension strategies in their class. To reinforce student learning, parents are encouraged to utilise the following strategies at home when reading with your child. I'm going to talk to you about 6 different strategies you can use at home to assist your child with their reading comprehension. We call these the Super 6 comprehension strategies. The first strategy I'm going to talk about is making connections. This strategy aims to help children make connections between the text and things they already know. This is important as when we connect a new topic or information to things we already know, it makes the learning much easier as the brain links any new information to our pre-existing knowledge. If we think about the story Charlotte's Web, for example, students may be able to make a connection between the text and something that has happened to them in their life. This is called a text-to-self connection, such as recalling when they may have visited a farm. Another way students can make connections with the text is via a text-to-text connection. This might be making a connection between Charlotte's Web and a factual text about spiders and the way they make their webs. The third way a student can make a connection is through a text-to-world connection. This might be making connections between friendships the animals make in Charlotte's Web and friendships that occur at school. To encourage the strategy of making connections at home, you could give your child an example of a connection you made yourself to the book you're reading by saying something like, "That reminds me of." "Can you think of a time when that has happened to you?" Or, "I remember reading another book like this and that book taught me." Have you read another book like this before? Tell me something you remember from that book. You might also encourage this strategy by talking to your child about fun memories you've had together, favourite movies or books, or what has happened during the day or the week. Talking and having conversations with your child will help to create these connections as they learn to reflect. The second strategy I'll talk about is predicting. Predicting what might happen in a text is a great way to get a story reading session started, as it activates our brain and switches us into the storyline. You might get your child to look at the cover, the title, or flick through the pictures to begin to make a prediction about what the book might be about. Predicting assists us with active processing. When we actively process information, we make it our own, and it helps us to remember it later on. To encourage the strategy of making predictions at home, you may like to ask some questions before you start reading, like, "Looking at the cover, what do you expect this story to be about?" Or, "Are there some clues in the pictures about what you think that might happen in the story?" While you're reading to your child, or your child is reading to you, you might stop and ask questions like, "What do you think will happen next?" Or, "What words or pictures do you expect to see on the next page?" Or even, "Have you been correct in your predictions so far?" To encourage this strategy, you could also share your own predictions with your child about what you think might happen in the story you're reading or the show or movie you are watching. The next strategy I'll talk about is questioning. Questioning as a reading strategy isn't just about answering questions made up by adults. It's about learners posing and answering questions that clarify meaning and promote a deeper understanding of the text. These questions might be generated by the learner, a peer, or an adult. When we ask questions about new ideas, we are actively processing new information. You could encourage your child to begin asking questions such as, what are the key words? Or what do I not understand in the text? These questions could be a good model to your child as you read a story. Or you could use other questions like, how did that make them feel? Or what is the author's intended purpose when writing this text? Is it to inform, to entertain, or to persuade? Another great way to get students to help students with this strategy is to use the sentence starter, I wonder. You could use this questioning technique all the way through reading. For example, I wonder why the main character did that. Or, I wonder if there are other ways that character could have got their ideas across. Or if reading a factual